Very obvious death flag is obvious. Like, they are not trying to hide that at all. Like, the minor details throughout this entire episode just makes it too damn obvious that there's death flags planted on Nagamoto. And there's two things I think is going on here. For one, the cold she's getting is probably her awakening her abilities. That's one theory I have. Number two, the abilities that she's awakening most likely is killing her. That's another thing. And number three, she's going to awaken her abilities, and she's going to be captured by a scientist and experimented on and killed off. That's another possibility. Now, I'm going to say right now, I already expected some form of death flags because I saw a Chibi last week link me a picture on Twitter about the Emoto. For instance, in the opening song, when you see everybody sitting on top of that cliff or standing on top of that cliff looking out into the sunset, you see how there's 4 and there's supposed to be 5. The Emoto is nowhere to be seen in the opening song next to them when they're sitting on top of that cliff or standing. I don't know why I keep saying sitting. When they're standing on top of that cliff looking at the sunset, she's nowhere to be seen. And so the death flag is there for the Emoto to disappear. So I kind of already expected that, and I mean, if you think about it, this is Key. Key usually has these type of scenes throughout their different works, and so I expected some form of death or something like this. But I guess now we know who most likely is going to die in the series. It's going to be the Emoto, because the signs in this episode are there. Now, when it comes to this episode, I'm going to be really honest here. Once again, it has that monster of the week or ability of the week formula once again, and a bunch of us can agree. I even saw last week in the comments from you fellow Chibis, a bunch of us are really not liking the format of the series, because there is a lot of potential in this series. There's so much potential with this series, with the different abilities, to the drama, so much to be seen, and so much that we can have, and I'm personally not really enjoying the episode after episode that's the exact same thing, kind of like the exact same format. I mean, this episode was different to a certain extent, but it was still the same. It was fundamentally still the same as the previous episode since episode 1. It's still kind of the same. From what I'm being told, though, it was also mentioned to me on Twitter earlier today, a couple hours ago, supposedly the writer of this series announced somewhere that next week the series is going to start picking up and getting a lot better. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what that means, because I was sent multiple messages to my fellow Chibits in my PM box and on Twitter, so we'll see exactly what the writer has in store for us next week. But for now, when it comes to this episode, there's really not much more to say. A new person with a new ability gets introduced. They're using their ability, thinking they can have it for the rest of their life. They really can't, because you know it's only there temporarily until they're grown up and out of high school. You also have it to where the death flags, which is very obvious, so I don't really need to get into that, because I think anyone with, good eyesight or, good reading into literature could actually notice that fucking death flag, because it was just too damn obvious. So, besides death flag and all that, the episode's just pretty simple. I mean, it has that comedy that's been used with Yusa and the, glasses guy. I mean, that comedy that's been used since the introduction of Yusa is being used still in this episode, and it's getting a little bit dry for my taste, to be honest, because when comedy gets reused over and over again, especially the exact same comedy, it gets kind of boring. It does. I mean, it's like saying like a knock-knock joke, like, knock-knock, who's there? I'm a banana. And you're just saying that 5 to 10 times every episode, you kind of it would get dull. It would get boring. And that's kind of what's going on. The Yusa joke with, how the glasses guy is just getting all gushy over, like, Yusa, and all that type of shit. It's kind of getting stale. And so, when it comes to the comedy's like, meh, it's okay. The monster of the week formula, or ability of the week, is kind of just there. It's the exact same thing, so nothing really new there besides the setting. And the death flag is too damn obvious, so I don't really need to dive in depth with that. And that's about it. I mean, you have now where she gets beat up at the beginning of the episode, but that's not even explained, so edgy as fuck. it wasn't even explained. Like, when now she's getting pulverized by those girls, like, that's for so-and-so, that's for my mother, that's my father, just beating the fuck out of her, and doesn't get explained at all. So, hopefully that gets explained next week, because that was just there to be there, that for now, for the episode, that was just there, so hopefully that does get explained. So yeah, episode of Charlotte this week, it was okay. I mean, nothing amazing, so to say, because of just the exact same formula I have seen for the past couple episodes, and I expect a lot out of this series because it's by Key. There's a lot of potential to be had from the series, and the setting was really good from the first episode. I just hope that we get more oomph from the series very soon. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.